Hello, how are you guys doing? And welcome to National Handmade Day. I am Lori LaRose and I have Active Stamping with Lori LaRose. I am going to do a one sheet wonder, and I pulled together for an 8.5 by 11 sheet because we're going to hand make and handmade our own stamped background. So I earlier today did a couple different videos where we're just randomly stamping like crazy, a stamp set of your choice. If you haven't already done that, just kind of watch and take a couple notes, and then you can come back and watch the replay of this, obviously. And then I made up a chart that for the most part, we just lose a little tiny couple pieces and we can make 6 cards from one of these sheets. A lot of times you can find one sheet wonder templates for 6 by 6s because our DSP comes in that, and also 12 by 12. But I didn't think very many people might not have plain white 12 by 12 anymore. Back in the day we did, but not so much now. I do have a group called Creativity for Everyone, Stampin' Style. This is sort of the kickoff of a new membership that I have going on. For $20 a month, you get lots of product. I'm going to send out butterflies, the brush brass butterflies, and little ideas, and you can be part of the challenge. This would be one of the templates that would be included in your membership, but to lure you in, I actually am offering it to everybody that wants to watch it and take advantage of a fun 8.5 by 11 sheet. So I earlier stamped a couple different things. I'm just going to show you, you need a stamp set that has some different images, not always just tiny, which is sort of the thought that I have lots of times. This one here is what I've used and what we're going to make cards with. All the different tiny and solid images makes it really easy. But I did pull in the beautiful, don't have it handy here, but Flowing Flowers, it's called. Oh, here it is. And actually the words from this are probably going to be really great even to use in this lovely you, because you're kind of wanting the focus to be the background. So you just want smaller pieces of this, of sentiments, but even the large, right? So again, a more solid image though. And I know doing this with like coffee cups in the past has been kind of fun. I did consider with the little cactus because I love the cactuses, but I wasn't sure because they might have been a little weird. I still might try it later. I could probably try it right now. I'm going to show you just really fast here, just with a couple of the ink pads, how you just sort of randomly grab and go kind of. So you choose a stamp set, a stamp pad. Oh, but hang on. Hi, Anne. How are you doing, hon? Sorry. Hi, Beth. So I was live a few minutes ago and I went off. I don't know how many of you are right on here because Vicky came on and she's like, I'm here. And I'm like, I'm sorry. So to hit random, literally I turned the paper around, and that way then all of a sudden easily your images are all sorts of different shapes. If you know, like different directions is I guess what I'm trying to say. You don't need to get really pedantic. Honestly, sort of the faster you go, almost the better it ends up being. That time I see they're all the same way. That could bother me down the road. You do kind of want them to be different shapes, right? And then I'm just going to pull in a little bit of yellow, and we're just stamping and going. And the real trick, honestly, is keep rotating this little sucker. I am going to try and squeeze this guy in here. Nice. And then put another guy that. And this is where if you just have a couple images, you end up having things close together. If you have more images, you're able to have colors not so much touching, I guess I should say. Don't worry too much if, say, for instance, there's a space and you're like, oh, what's that going to look like? I hope that I can cut this so that it'll make some sense when I say that. You can fill in a little tiny bit once you cut your shapes. So if it tells me that I'm supposed to cut this at 3 1/4, as I cut this, this one looks pretty good. I might add in, for instance, here. And this is going to be a fairly fast run through, girls. I'm not stamping with you per se, but just to give you an idea so you can stamp and then share it over there. But yeah, so you to fill in a little tiny bit. On this one, it's like, oh, yes. Okay, let's add a little tiny leaf here. And I think I will add this guy in here as well. And all of a sudden you have a more full piece. Do you know what I mean? So you even could, if you really thought, depending on your stamped image, I could probably bring in this guy a little bit further and nobody would know. Okay, so that's the idea there. Now we'll get going with the cut. So I will post, I guess on my page or in this event, I don't know, maybe both places, the thing. But otherwise, do take a screenshot of this and be really aware, for your ease and for your luckiness, I have your cuts that you're going to do. So you're going to end up having a piece of paper, and I'm going to make up some cards with this actually. This will be a totally different little dealio, but this is supposed to be kind of fast cards. I have cut up my paper already, basically. So I'm going to work with this stuff, but right for this second, if you really don't want to stamp, you can find a piece of your designer series paper, cut it 8.5 by 11, because that's what it is. And your first cut is going to be at 5 1/4. Okay, so come across to 5 1/4. And then I left that piece for a second. You could turn around and cut these guys easy because that's your one piece, but I'm just going to set that one aside because I'm trying to keep track here. So this guy here, I'm going to then cut, and there's no reason to turn it around, but I just did. I'm going to cut it at 1 inch. No, I'm lying. I'm cutting it at 7/8 of an inch. And that's all about design down the road. So I want to cut these, yeah, so that's 7/8. Now your next cut's not this way, but we're going to cut this little piece out for card number 4. So that says cut number 3. And so I'm going to turn this one around and I'm going to cut it at 2 1/4. And I might, because it was really late, like 3 a.m. when I did this, I might end up coming back and cutting off 1/8 of an inch here, because I think initially I probably had this, that last cut be 1 1. I know I'm not making sense, but it will. When I lay my cards together, and that's, oh, see, in this case, it'll actually be prettier. So this is perfect. That's why I didn't change it. What you want is sometimes them to be proportional. So because this will work. So that's perfect. Okay, ignore everything that I just said. Now, cut number 4 is actually across here because we want to save this piece here, but we need to save this piece as well. So we're now going to cut this one, and we're going to cut it at 1 inch. And this little 1 inch, we're going to cut at 4 1/4. And that's one piece of garbage. But look, it's just about a perfect B I can use. No, I'm just teasing you. While I'm cutting these, I'm going to cut these guys at 4 1/4 as well. And that makes one of the cards right there, those 3 pieces. Okay. This is where I'm talking about the proportion for laying this down into this card for the, is it called the relativeness? For the scale, or however you'd say it. It gives the same measurement all the way around. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, okay. So this little piece now, we're going to cut at 2 1/2. And that is cut number 6. And then that'll leave us with 3 3/4. And this is just a little bit less than 3 3/4. Okay. Yay. Nice. This one is a little directional, so I might be challenged. Okay, and then this piece, we're bringing it back in, and we're going to cut it at 4. And that always seems so big now at this point. And at 2 inches. And then that's, so this is going to be one card, another card, another card. These 3 pieces are another card. This little guy is another card. So fun, hey? All right, let's bring in the pieces. And I will also post my finished pieces eventually. But again, I will just bring this in. And whoopsie-doo. There you are. All right. And I would love to see your stamped pages because they can be so pretty. Look at the differences here. I did one of these at Christmas time, and honestly, we did it with poinsettias. I did it all by myself in pink and granny apple green. And after a whole season of kind of stamping with, and yes, your page will definitely get marked up because you're stamping off your page for sure. After a whole season of working with mossy meadow and stuff, it was really fun to have the bright colors to work with, right? Okay, so now I've said that card number 1, and it really doesn't matter, but card number 1 is going to use 2 pieces here. And so I chose Granny Apple Green for my guys. My 2 pieces. Okay. All right. And I brought in 1 extra piece of white, just because. And you'll see why in 1 second. So I could score this, and I guess I should. So I'm going to score it at 4 1/4, like a regular card. Score it. And then I'm going to score it at 2 1/8. And so the 1 piece of paper is the 2, and so is my little white piece of paper is also 2 by 5 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to fold this guy up. And like I said, I'm going to just whip through these guys. I'm definitely not gluing today. And at this point, I don't even have words, but I should have a couple done. This is going to slide in here. And obviously, depending on which way you'd like it. But I don't know, I like that guy right like that. And then I'm going to put this guy in here so that we can write on it. And that can be where you have a little bit of a message. I did think, though, I had this Fun Amazing that keeps kicking around. So I thought I could put that in there. So that's going to go there. And then this guy is going to come in and be right here. Now, this is where if I was even half prepared, I've been running around. As I told one of my girlfriends, I am perpetually behind. One of the things that you can definitely do, and not so much with this stamp set because they're all really tiny, but if I was using this stamp, when I use this paper, I can restamp a few of these and fussy cut them and use those to accent my cards, right? In this case, I am going to rely a little bit on things like this and then a big sentiment. So in this case, I do think that will work for another one. I'm hoping that I have at least, I usually have so much stuff hanging around my place. I was earlier looking like crazy for a piece of DSP, and I am such a hoarder that I was like, oh no, I might use that for something else. Oh no, I like that for that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So yeah, that's why I started over again, because I was so long vacillating on what I was going to do. I am just looking for some words. Good gracious, you guys. How do I not have any words when you guys all know I glue nothing together? And Vicky's sitting there going, yeah, Laura, you have nothing going on. I will say, actually, now this totally is not the right color. Know that. 100% not. But this would actually be awesome on here, right? To finish off your card. 1010%. So think about having a little layer of something and having your expression on there. And again, and then I guess you could put a couple different leaves on there. Okay, so I hope that makes some sense. It's not a great, like, oh, let me take a picture of that. Here, actually, I'm making little things. Maybe this will work. We were stamping this little bunny, and again, something. So personally, again, I don't love this. At least it's in the right yellow. That's good. So that idea, right? And these are old dies because I'm doing them for the hospital tray favors. So I just play around all the time with them. Yuck. Okay, so that's an idea. Okay, so that's card number 1. And then we need to decorate it. And I apologize for not having, here's a piece, basically, right? So we're going to cover it up and then have your sentiment in here. Does that make sense? I hope so. Hope so. All right. Okie dokie. Card number 1. So card number 2, according to this guy, is this piece. And I think this, I don't think this is this piece. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, so this is the piece, which is funny because I think I left this over here and I don't know that I have this card. We're going to skip card number 2 for a second. Going on to card number 3. Oh, card number 3 is this fun one, okay? Okay, I had this as card number 2. It was even next in row. So this one has 2 pieces that are 7/8 and one that is 1 inch. And I'm going to put the 1 inch one in between. I, for myself, I don't want them to be running together. So I either have to decide to flip this one upside down or that one. And I might go with that one. And I might put this guy here. So you have just a little range. Yep, I like that. So then those guys will go there. This is a really straightforward card. And again, seriously, just like scrapbooking, your sentiment actually makes these cards. Like 100% makes these cards. I am going to go and see if I can grab we did a one sheet wonder, the 6x6s. And we did 2 pieces of DSP flip-flopped. And it's always all about the base, Okay, if I had a different bottom, so this was a different color, that would be kind of cute on there too. But even in this case. So now one thing that you definitely will have to find, because our DSP is white based, you can't just plunk a white base on it. You're going to have a layer. Does that, like, you get what I'm saying, right? So you're always going to have to be working with a matted sentiment. And that's where I'm hooped, because I definitely don't have any matted sentiments. I can't even steal any because we haven't been matting sentiments for a while. Okay, hold on one second. Good gracious. Again, I should have all sorts of pieces. So this is a little one sheet wonder, and it's the words that make all the difference. Let's see. Nope, not even in that whole stack. This was an idea, again, that you can just make a little shape and bring it in with a little piece. So even that, now you totally have to pretend, but even not in white, right? So long as you have a little bit of extra going on. I love that. If you imagine this being proper, do you know what I mean? Imagine that that's a flower instead, right? I hope that makes some sense. Ladybugs would be really cute on here. So I don't have the whole ladybug, but I do have one. Oh, man. So my husband was heading to town. He was out walking the dog, and he was messing with my mojo and my time. Can I just say? Okay, mostly you guys know that I just mess with my own time. Okay, card number 5 is a little 2.5 piece. And it is going to go. And this one, I was thinking you could do this 2 ways. You could fold this back, so it'd be like this card. And you could have this little 2.5 matted on something. We'll pretend this is a good mat in a different color. And then you could totally just have it on the plane, and that could be your card. I would then put a white piece in here, and you could have it with words. Or you can have it on a solid, and again, a matte background of some color. And we'll have to pretend this is a bit bigger, but you'd have your mat. And again, you're making words. So I totally have to make your cards for you guys. Sorry. I'm sorry. I jumped on the live too early, essentially, because I wasn't really ready, but I was pretending. This little "You're Too Kind" almost could go on there if, where did my little green piece go? if I had, this is the wrong color of green, but that'll work. Let's put this guy on so he's finished a little tiny bit. I don't like leaving you surrounded there, even just that. And then if we could pull in one little tiny, I might stamp and cut out one of those guys and put it there, or just put another butterfly, and a bow would be nice maybe. What color bows do I have here? Little white bow. Boop, boo, boo. And it finishes it off. Like, it makes such a difference, right? A little daffodil bow instead would be pretty. Da, da, da. Okay. All right. So the little 2.5 is going to be, and that being said, oh, you know what? I made such a cute card the other day with a layer like that. And then one more strip. So choose a little strip of color. Oh, I am starting to rock and roll now, girls. I'm sadly working with crap I have around here. I do want him to be thicker. Hang on one second. This guy, but imagine him all the way down. Oh yeah. Okay, we're not gonna imagine. I'm gonna go find that. Hold on one second. Hold everything, girls. Sorry about that. I like this. Okay, so put this down. And then crisscross these guys. Ah, sort of fun. And then put on a couple ladybugs. The other idea that I would have for this, actually, in full truth, is to take your piece sorry, I'm gonna run this through. Hang on one second. Oh, and I can't run this through my mini because I've got it wider than 3.5, but I am using a 3.5 folder. Hold on. I'll be right there. It'd be really fab if I just magically saw a whole bunch of words over here. But I'm not. All right. Okay, this is better. So we're going to layer on layer, just a tone on tone, and then bring in this crisscrossy guy. And then the amazing. Why, yeah. So you can make the choice of purposely having a little space, one side or the other, or doing it again or doing the full background. But I like that guy. Okay. And then, so that's that's this piece here. And then this card here, I'm sorry. I'm just looking and I'm like, I thought I skipped to this one. I thought I used this card. And now I'm like, that was this card. No. Oh, that's this. That's the front. Never mind that. Oh, I'm kind of confused, girls. Anyways, we'll get it together. We will get it together. This guy is actually this guy. So, oh. What did I tell you guys about this one? Good gracious. Did I just lay it on something? I am really losing my brain. I am totally wanting to layer it. I brought in a piece of Coastal Cabana, which is the color I used for one of the leaves, and I ran it through the embossing machine, and I made it about 3/8 of an inch all the way around, so it was quite wide. And then I actually was planning on using this on here, and then again having an expression here. And I cannot believe that I have no words. So again, not a problem with the size. Small is actually even nice, but it definitely needs to be matted on something constantly, right? Because it does not stand out nearly enough. Okay. And definitely here a little bit of ribbon would be a nice play on this. What's this pretty pink? Oh, this is Flirty Flamingo. Perfect. Put a little Flirty Flamingo on there. I think this is Flirty Flamingo. I think this one's still available. It is kind of a funny one because you have to fight to get the colors all going the same way. But anyways, little ribbon on that one. And the final card, like I said, we need to come back with lots of different ideas. I think if we brought in some butterflies, they would be really cute on there. I don't want to peel these guys off because they're glued quite securely down. The final card I'm going to work with Pacific Point, because I love this bright dark color, which is what I used in the background there. And last card is going to have a layer, and this has the little 3 3/4 piece, and I'm going to bring this piece in and just have this one coming in like this. And then I think I would probably I'd like to have some ribbon there. Take the ribbon from my hair. But of course, can I find any ribbon that I want to use right now? No. Maybe so. And then, again, could say thanks is what I would probably put there. But I think, what did I say I was going to use? This has all these nice words. Love is what makes us family. Miles apart, but still in my heart. Let's see what that looks like. And then I'll wrap it up. You know what? No matter how fast I try to make these, it never is it? Dun, dun, dun. Somewhere here, because I'm looking all the time. What do they say on an average? You spend how many minutes a day that you lose looking for things? I would be able to say, yes, that's true. Sadly, I think I lose 3 or 4 of your minutes every day on my lives, guys. Anyways, all right, so like I said, this is going to be part of a general idea down the road. This would be, the template would become exclusive to members. You'll see me stamping, but they won't get the key to the answers. Oh, that's kind of cute. And then if I had a little heart, pretend this is a heart. You guys are like, what? Okay, and then I definitely need a little something. That's my heart. And then I need a little band of ribbon there. And I think that'll be kind of pretty. Again, nope, no purple. This is kind of this color, but oh, it's way for wrong color. Good gracious. Well, let's pull this in for a second and say that's there. All right, Sana, you're back again. Oh, you know, we had the blizzard about 15-20 minutes ago, Cheryl, actually. That's sort of funny. And that was actually sort of what it did mess with my timing a little tiny bit. I'm just going to pretend. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And where's the 6th one? Oh, this is going to be the 6th one. Hang on one second. It is the easiest one, really. Here's this little piece. Okay. And then this one here, this also could have this even on the front of it, which would then have a lot of room inside there for a message. I probably wouldn't want that quite that big. didn't I have a little tiny baby green one? Oh, I did, but it was totally the wrong color, right? And then this guy here just comes in here. And that one also could have a nice big piece like that. I get a little pedantic about not covering up my beautiful stamping, but really, if you then had a white piece of paper in here with all your message, I think this would be really lovely, right? Okie dokie. All right, gals. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Not very well done. I have trust in you. That is my challenge. You guys wrap it up. Make them beautiful as I know you can. And post them on Creativity for Everyone. If you'd like to be part of my little world of the membership with usually exclusive templates like this and directions and stuff, directions, I will type up cut at 5 1/4, then cut at 7/8 more, turn and cut. But make sure that as you're doing this, watch your cut lines, because then it makes it nice and easy. You want your 3 pieces. Anyways, I think it turned out really, really well. I'm excited for it. Membership is $20 a month. When you complete the 3 months of memberships, I will also send you out a packet of pebbles. So there's a couple packets of pebbles on their way to a couple people who prepaid the whole 3 months. Bless you for having such faith in me, especially after demonstrating today how not there I am. But anyways, all right, gals. I love hanging out with you, obviously, because here I am back again, hanging out again. I do come live weeknights at 9 o'clock every night, Mountain Time. So I can't wait to see what you guys do. Please share. Oopsie-doo, I wanted to zoom out. I think this one's one of my best ones. Please share, and I will share mine as well as I get them finished here. You love my directions. I know, we're trying bad. Okay, girls. Send, if you have questions, make sure you send them as well, and I will touch base with them too. Yeah, you are. But thank you so much, Dana. Love that. Okay, girls, I will talk with you later. Craft on today. Handmade. National Handmade Day. That's what I'm trying to say. Bye-bye.